Hello everyone, Ziaos on this side. Let's start with my brief introduction. I've done my MSc Zoology, have qualified CSI and JRF with all India rank 65. I've qualified SET Maharashtra as well, and one more exam for the PhD called as PET. Currently I'm doing my PhD at SPPU Pune. So our today's topic is Lamarckism here. So let's get started. It was Jean-Baptiste Pierre Antoine de Monet Lamarck. In his famous book, he wrote a book called as Philosophic Zoologic. Philosophic Zoologic. He states that the modification which an organism acquires in adaptation to the environment in its lifetime are automatically inherited to the next generation. I repeat, or just concluding, the modification of the organism is inherited to the next generation. What his theory says, the modification of organism is inherited to the next generation. Now, we'll be dealing with his theories one by one. What were his propositions? What does he proposed? He said that the effect of the environment causes change in the organism. Yes, accepted. The effect of environment causes change in the organism. The second one he said as production of new organ result from the need. This was the kind of again thinking. Production of new organ resulted from the need. Let's deal with the third one. It was development of organ takes place by constant use. Development of organ takes place by constant use and degeneration is by constant disuse. Degeneration is by constant disuse. So basically here that the modifications produced by the reasons are carried to the next offspring. This was a case which further needed the explanation because all the 3 points, the first one is the environment can cause change, the second one the new organs can be developed by the need, and the third one is the development of organ by constant use. So he needed to explain that. So the first explanation he gave about the reaction to the environment. Or the reaction to the environment. Here what does he said? The plants grown in the different environment show exhibit marked differences. He said that the smaller and the weaker plants are there in the poor soil, but healthy plants are there in the nutrient rich soil. This was his explanation for the reaction of the environment. Ultimately, if the soil is not having a lot amount of the nutrients, the plant will be weaker, and if the soil is having the lot of amount or amount of nutrients, the plant will be healthier. The second explanation given by the Lamarck was the use and the disuse of organ, the development, constant use. He gave the example of giraffe. Giraffe had a short neck in the remote past when food was available on the ground level. Gradually, as the trees became higher and higher in the and the higher, so when in the need of the food, the neck of giraffe automatically became elongated after generations and generations and generations. This was his explanation for the use and the disuse, that the giraffe were basically they were feeding on the grasses and the small trees, but as due to the result of evolution, the trees became higher and higher in the need of the food, the giraffe neck became elongated and elongated, and this this special character was carried forwarded from generations to the generation. Now the third one, the C, it is the effect of needs. Here in this case, the effects of need, changes in the environment initiate the development of new organ. The changes in the environment initiates development of new organs. So basically here in this case, inheritance of acquired character. Inheritance of acquired character. Here the changes acquired by the organism in lifetime due to environmental effects are inherited to the offspring. Basically this case was not accepted at all because we cannot accept this case inheritance of the acquired character, but still we'll be dealing with the next parts. Evidences advanced by the Lamarck. The first one is the webbed toes of aquatic birds. Yes, like the aquatic birds are having webbed toes, like maybe that is because of the need of the new organ. The different size of pinna in the various animal, like the use and the disuse of the organ. Better development of the right hand in the human. This is also like one of the most important characteristic of the use and the disuse of the human, like of the hand. The loss of the limbs in the snake, like the disuse of the organ, whatever that he is saying, like there are vestiges in the hind limbs. Now, if I'll be dealing with the reduction of the eyes in the moles, here like due to nocturnal and the fusorial life, here like I'll be dealing with the criticism of Lamarckism. Okay, so coming here, like the Lamarck's rules were not exactly accepted by every scientist. Rather, there were two. Their name was Cuvier and the Weismann. They literally criticized Lamarck, saying his theory as ghost story. Calling his theory as ghost story. What did they said? They had gone for different types. Like the first one is the tendency of reduction. The first one is the tendency of reduction. In this case, the retrogressive metamorphosis in the Herdmania took place. Retrogressive metamorphosis in the Herdmania, even like the use and the disuse or the need of the organ. Here, men desired to fly but could not develop wings. So ultimately, like he said, like the new organ can be developed with the new need. So ultimately, if I want like the eyes on the back of my head, can I develop the eyes on the back of my head? No. So this is the case. Like these were like the criticism on the laws of the Lamarck. Okay, here a man constantly busy in the reading develops impaired eyes instead of better developed eye. So this is the objection to the use and the disuse of organ. If like I am continuously reading, I have to go for the specs. So ultimately, if like I am following Lamarck's rule, my eye should be even much sharper and much stronger. But this do not happens at all. Inheritance of acquired characters objection. Here the case was like the wound or the sears which were obtained by the father in the war is not inherited in the son. Even like the blind and the deaf parent can produce a normal offspring. This all like or like even the vice versa can happen. Hold earlobes in the Indian, they produce offspring without hole, like from generation to the generation. Since like the Indian history has started, like the females are like literally having like the hold earlobes and the nose, but still none of the single offspring is having like the hold earlobe and the. This is also like opposing the Lamarck's law. Weismann did a mouse experiment. That's a very famous mouse experiment. That is the 22 generation mouse experiment. What he did, he removed the tail of the mice continuously for about 22 generations, and even after 22 generation, mice were having normal tail. So there was a need of changing the laws of the Lamarck, and that was called as none other than Neo-Lamarckism. That was called as Neo-Lamarckism. And this Neo-Lamarckism was having support of Spencer, Kammer and McDougall. Spencer, Kammer and McDougall. They suggested that in some cases the acquired characters are inherited which affect the germplasm. Even the Weismann said this thing. If the gametes are getting affected, then only the characters will be inherited in the next generation. If the somatic cells are affected, no inheritance will take place. This is what about the Lamarckism was. Even his laws were almost correct, but they were not exactly correct. They were completely fitting on some individuals or some organism, but still they were rejected on some of the individuals. Okay. Hopefully this lecture is beneficial for you guys. If you are having any kind of doubt, you can ask me there in the comment section. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.